long ago in a living room very much like yours, two women made up a podcast on how movies link up to each other, and they called it 6 Degrees of Feature Film.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 6 Degrees of Feature Film podcast. I am Brienne, also known as Miss Movies.
And I'm Stacey Howard.
Hey, I think this is
Hi.
like our 20th episode about
oh my gosh,
something.
we're out of the teens.
Yeah. We're like in college.
Whoa. We are in like
So-
sophomore year. We're over that freshman to 15. We are now very independent, very into like, I'm over this college experience.
We probably have a fake ID.
We probably have a fake ID.
Did
go to the
you?
coffee shop. Oh, I did. And
Yep.
the girl was 5'4" with brown hair.
Oh, you actually had
Oh,
someone's
no, I
ID.
had. Well, yeah, there we go. So,
I had a fake ID, and it was a made fake ID.
oh, see, no, I didn't have that. I
It
just
was pretty
had
good.
someone else's ID that was like 25.
Nice.
Yeah. And it looked
That's
nothing
that's
like
better.
me.
That's
Yeah.
a better choice.
Yeah. But if you get caught with it, then that's I think a felony because it's
For
like
both of
impersonating
you.
someone else's
Oh.
identity. Or
Well, I'm sure
something,
the other
so-
one is just as.
Oh, I think she like
Yeah.
sold it to me. I can't even remember. One of my older sorority sisters got it for me. Yeah. Anyway,
Anyway,
back to our
good
movies.
fun. Oh, fake IDs. Okay, so today we are talking about some independent films.
Oh my gosh, fun.
Stacey brought this film for us today, so I'm going to let her.
I sure did. Okay, so this movie I discovered on Netflix because I love What We Do in the Shadows,
Yes.
which is directed by Taika Waititi. I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name.
It is amazing. That's
It's
an amazing
amazing.
name.
Amazing name, yes. He's from New Zealand. Him and Jermaine Clement, who you guys know from Flight of the Conchords and all that fun stuff. And so he directed What We Do in the Shadows. That was one of my favorite movies of this past year. And so I was like, I need to see what other movies he does. 2 of his films are on Netflix, one of which we are talking about today. It is called Eagle versus Shark.
Yeah.
Yes. So it came out 2007. Eagle vs. Shark is the tale of 2 socially awkward misfits and the strange ways they try to find love through revenge on high school bullies, burgers, and video games. This movie is not everyone's cup of tea. It's definitely very different. It has that... It's very much... Like, if you looked up in the dictionary, awkward rom-com, this movie would be
Yes.
right there by the definition. 'cause
And
it's
next
got-
to Napoleon Dynamite.
Next to Napoleon Dynamite. It's very much that, like, very serious, played very serious, like, deadpan, saying different lines. But it's so, they do it with such conviction that you're like, this is so funny to me. And I just loved it. I thought it was so cute and quirky and romantic and very, very heartwarming and different. And it was like a real portrayal of love because they're not gorgeous people. You know, they're not these, like, sweeping, beautiful, like, statuesque people standing in the moonlight falling in love. They're like normal people, misfits. They're not exactly the most popular people at work. They don't have a lot of friends, but they find love in each other and in their own
Yes.
quirks. And I thought it was just super cute. And I've watched it over and over again. Like, I watch it maybe like once a month, I would say. Like every few weeks, I'm like, I want to watch Eagle versus Shark. I just think it's really cute. And I love the message and I love how they are together. I think they have great chemistry. Jermaine Clent's hilarious. So,
This couple I could
yeah.
see meeting at like a convention.
oh, for sure.
Comic-Con or
for
something like
sure
that.
they'd be at Comic-Con convention. Yeah.
Yes. Dressed
Mhm.
up.
Dressed up.
But kind of like when they dress up, it's not necessarily like as grand as other people's costumes. It might
Yeah.
just be kind of like...
It's like a homemade thing.
Yes.
Mhm.
And definitely homemade in the sense that like I just threw this together 20 minutes ago.
It's
and
probably a character they made up. Like, it's
Right,
like, oh,
there you go.
it's not a character you would know. It's
Yeah.
literally a character no one knows because they made it up in their own mind.
That's right.
Now, it's called Eagle versus Shark because he invites her, or not even her, one of her coworkers, and she just kind of shows up because she's liked him for a long time, to a party where you have to dress as your favorite animal. So he is dressed as an eagle, and she is dressed as a shark.
But he says like that he was going to go with shark, right?
Yeah, he was like, I was going to go with shark, but when an eagle, it's basically a little bit superior. You're like the second best dressed character here besides me. That was a terrible New Zealand impression. Sorry about that.
I feel like he like fell in love with her too because of the fact that she could like play this game, which was basically Mortal Kombat. She was good at
Yeah.
playing that game, and he was like, "She's the best Mortal
She's like
Kombat
the
fighter
best
or
female
whatever."
fighter I've ever seen. And yeah, it's hysterical. So he wants to go home to fight his childhood bully, and her and her brother go with him. So she travels back there because she and her brother want to like drive him because he doesn't have a car. He doesn't have any wheels, as he says. And so they go, and so she meets his whole family, and hilarity ensues because they're all kind of quirky in their own way. It's so funny. I can't emphasize how strange this movie is, and it's definitely like some people aren't going to get it. They're not going to get the humor. What did you think of this movie? Because I introduced this to you, and I was like, watch this.
Yes. I didn't like it. I
what?
didn't. You know
Brienne.
what? At first I did, though. There was parts of it where I liked it, and then at the part where he kind of like is like, I got to do this on my own, and kind of
like breaks up with her, basically.
has a rejects her. I was just kind of like, I'm done with this. Like I didn't like that because of the fact that she had helped him so much. Not that you can't reject someone, but I just felt like, could you just like, I don't know, like see it through until you get back? Like, let her at least get home before you break up with her, or call an Uber. Like, all right, well, see ya. I gotta do this. You could go now.
Yeah.
Obviously, they don't have Uber over there.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, like, that wasn't him rejecting her because he actually wanted to. He was rejecting her because he's not used to relationships, and he was probably scared, or he was just being a jerk at first. But, it wasn't that he really wanted to break up with her. I think it's because he was just maybe confused. But he eventually comes back to it. And
but at that point, it's too late for me. I already hate his character, and I'm like, well, that's it. You're done.
I think you're meant to. He's kind of a jerk, and he's an idiot, and he's socially awkward, and he doesn't know what to do in certain situations. And so for me, I didn't hate that, and I didn't hate him. It kind of made sense that he would do that.
I do think
that's
it's
what
funny,
he probably
though.
does with all the other girls he's ever dated. So
I think it's
he
funny,
does like her, though.
So they've broken up, and she's like, doesn't know what to do because she's stuck here.
Yeah,
and like so. They've been sleeping in this tent outside, so she takes her sleeping bag to like sleep elsewhere, on the ground, and then he's like, "No, you need to eat. It's cold or it doesn't smell good." And then he drags the tent over to like, and is like, "You can come in this tent if you're cold or whatever if you want to." And then he just like it just like collapses on him basically
because he can't
just
build it
like that.
And then all the extra characters are absolutely hilarious in this movie. His friend, the one that's like, they go to his house and he's like the best investigator I've ever met. And then he literally
the
just
porn on his computer.
So he's looking at something on his computer. It's this old, really slow computer. And as he's talking, porn, starts like popping up on the back of his computer, obviously because it's like a virus. It's so funny. And then the moments in this movie. And then he has a daughter, surprisingly enough, and so which I didn't really realize the backstory on that. I guess he just left her there, and his parents or dad and them.
I didn't understand that either. Like, was that other woman that was there? Was that the mom?
Wait, which other woman?
The other woman who he's like, I was hanging out with her today. I was with her today.
No. It was a girl at a party. That's his dead brother's fiance.
Okay.
Or ex-fiance.
Got it.
So
she's just around.
She's still a friend of the family, still now. And it's a small town, so I'm sure they see all each other anyway. But yeah, this cast of characters is so funny. And they're all like friends in real life. So, they were just wanted to be in each other's movies. And that's the best kind of comedy, in my opinion, because they're so in sync and so in tune with what they know is funny and where the other person's going with it that it's just so hilarious to me. And the brother and sister that have their like little like windsuits that they make and like makeup they try and set and all these like little schemes they try and do.
Yes, for you 25
And then they're like, is there anything wrong with your skin? No, I'm fine. Why? Oh, nothing. It's so funny. I laugh hysterically in this movie. And my favorite moment is whenever they're at the party and they sleep together that night. And he is showing her all of his little creations and stuff and all these like candles he makes and everything. And then he turns to the camera and he still has this little eagle head thing on and just so deadpan serious. It's like, I guess I just have to keep creating or else I'll die. And I have that screenshot and I put like the captions on, and so it says that, and then him and his eagle thing just like hanging over his head. I laugh every time.
There are moments. I didn't entirely hate it, but there are moments that are hilarious.
Yes.
That is for sure.
Oh, well, I knew it's not everyone's favorite, so I'm not upset that you didn't love it. But
Okay,
I feel like your reasoning for not liking it is, like I don't think that was him intentionally trying to hurt her. I think he just wasn't used to relationships, and he was being a jerk.
Yeah.
He was, but I don't think he really wanted to break up with her. He still does like her, and they get together in the end, and they're still in love, and they're perfect for each other because they're eagle and shark.
Their apples are together.
Their apples are
Again.
together. There's a really, really great animated sequence in this, and it's like the little apple is floating in the river
And so
walking on the
random.
beach. So
It's like,
random. I'm like, what is
what was
happening?
this for?
How did they pay for that? What is going on?
Watiti, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's super, super cute. Okay, so
Wait, what was it? You said there were 2 films of Waititi's on
yeah.
Netflix. Do you know what the other one is, or are
Yes,
you going to
it's
talk about
called-
the other one later?
No, I'm not going to talk
Okay.
about it later. But if you want to check out more of his work, check out Boy.
Okay.
It's called Boy, and it's the story of this little boy that again lives in New Zealand. He kind of Watiti has set a lot of his movies in the same,
Right.
same scenario.
Hometown.
Where he's from, what he knows, and he lives like in the 80s. And his dad has been away in prison for like the past 10 years or whatever. He barely remembers him, but then his dad finally comes back. And so it's about them building their relationship together. And it's really cute. And again,
Yeah.
heartwarming and quirky and funny and very different. And it's just super. And Watiti, am I pronouncing his name right? I don't know. Just makes a cameo in Eagle vs. Shark, but in Boy, he
Right.
plays the dad. So he has an actual acting role. And he's
I
really
like
good
him
in
as
it.
an actor.
He's great. I
He's
love
so good
him.
in What We Do in the Shadows.
He is so hilarious. I would like marry this guy in a heartbeat. If I ever met him, I have fantasies where I meet him at like some industry thing, which why
Mhm.
would I be at an industry thing? I don't work in the industry, but I get invited somewhere and I meet him and I'm like, excuse me, I just want to let you know that I love all your movies. And he's like, why, thank you. And we like fall in love and immediately
Yes.
get married and
You
have
could
a weird
just go to
quirky wedding.
New Zealand. I'm sure you could find him.
For sure.
Yeah.
All the good movies are happening in New Zealand. Housebound is great.
Mhm.
Horror comedy, you got to watch that. That's also on Netflix, people. Everything great is coming out of New Zealand.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
that.
There
Got
there
that.
you go. There you
Anyways.
go.
So from Eagle versus Shark, we are doing independent rom-coms.
There you go.
I guess I will go. Now,
go ahead.
This is a very extremely independent film, meaning like was released in like 6 theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much at the same time that it was released in those theaters, came onto on demand or some form of you could rent this. And then now it's available on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, you can get it. It's called Slow Learners, and it came out August 19th, 2015. It's about these 2 characters, Jeff and Anne, who are close friends and coworkers and are embarrassingly unlucky at love. They hatch a plan to transform themselves over the course of a sex and alcohol-fueled summer. So basically, they're trying to become Sandy at the end of Grease, if you will,
Oh.
because they feel that they are too goody-goody, and they just want to,
Gain
get
some
some strange,
experience.
apparently. So they're going to try to be the opposite of what they are.
Okay.
And in doing so, they learn that maybe where do you think it would go from there? Like that's kind of the start. But what are they going to learn from this?
I mean, they're going to learn that sex and drugs and alcohol don't fill happiness. They
Okay.
only avoid
Good.
sadness.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to learn some lessons, maybe fall in love with each other on the way.
You know what? You have got this down.
Nice.
'Cause
I
that's
know my
kinda how it
quirky
goes.
rom-coms.
This is how it
Mm.
goes, right?
Okay.
Oh, what I wanted was standing right in front of me the whole time, right?
Yeah.
This is this is starring I have it right here. Adam Pally. I want to say it's Pally. Sorry, Adam. Thanks for listening. Sarah Burns and Catherine Reitman is in this.
Hey,
and This is
Catherine!
why I watched it basically because
Girl
I
with
saw that
puppy.
she was in there. Yeah, and I was like, I should see what it's all about. And it's such a small film that hey, why not? It only made $21,000 at the 6 screens that it was that it was available at. Not a lot of moolah. No. I don't know how much it cost to make. I'm sure it was pretty low budget, but, you know, you never know.
So what if you were, because I didn't watch this movie, if you were to compare it to another movie, what would you say the tone is like to other films that we might be familiar with?
The tone is similar to things like Napoleon Dynamite and Eagle versus Shark, only not as, like Eagle versus Shark is a little more awkward. This is less awkward.
Okay.
But more like the girl, Sarah Burns, she does a really good job. This is her like movie.
Okay.
Basically. But the comedy stylings, the similar back and forth that they have is similar to Eagle versus Shark. And that's probably why I picked it, because of the fact that there are some similarities there and they're kind of both awkward. The only trivia that I have on this film, this is hilarious. There are 4 bits of trivia on IMDb. Here's what they are. You ready? Filmed over 22 days in Media, Pennsylvania. Okay. Filmed over 23 days in Media, Pennsylvania. Filmed over 24 days in Media, Pennsylvania. Filmed over 25 days in Media, Pennsylvania. So I don't know which it is. How many days?
21 to 25 days. You should add that piece of trivia, because you can add trivia to IMDb. You should.
I will add
You're
the truth.
The last one. Filmed 21 to 25 days.
Now, okay, I like to credit Catherine Reitman with my incredible nerdiness, because she is the reason for a lot of what I do now. She is the reason that I pretty much discovered YouTube because of her show. Because I went to school with her. I went to SC with her. And then Ashton Kutcher like tweeted out about, you know, her show. And I was like, oh my gosh, I know Catherine. Like, what is she up to these days? And I had been doing the Film Vault and teaching and nothing really. Like, that was about it. And I watched her show and I was like, she is amazing. This is hilarious. I love this show. Like, I was a fan of her show, breaking it down on YouTube. And from there, I discovered she became the, like, one of the co-hosts of the Schmoes Know movie show when it was, like, in its second, like, go-round. And I was like, oh my gosh, these guys are awesome. And like, I discovered who they were. And from them, I discovered who Screen Junkies were. And I was like, it's like a snowball, like of fandom. I was like, I don't know. So the reason I know all this stuff about all these things everywhere is because of people like Catherine and Schmoes. And we know each other because of the Schmoes. So I credit that to Catherine.
Thanks, Catherine.
So there we go.
We should tweet her this episode and be like, listen, we're giving you a shout out. Also give us a shout out too. Thanks, girlfriend.
Yeah. Give us a shout out too. Yeah. Come on our show.
Hello,
Although
Catherine.
You're very busy, so
yes,
I know. I understand. Sure. She was on my show when I did my solo podcast.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Which is still available on iTunes if you want to check that out. But she has a small part in this, which is pretty good. Frangela. Do you know the comedy duo Frangela?
No.
They are hilarious. They have this one scene with both Catherine and Sarah in this restaurant, and the interaction between them is kind of hilarious because they think, oh, this girl's like hitting on my man and you shouldn't be doing that. But then they like, and they figure out what the miscommunication is, and then they end up giving her tips of how to like get a man and keep a man. And Catherine's like, no, that's not what you do. You do not call them and keep calling them and then call them again and then call them tomorrow and then show up at their house. Like, you don't do that.
No, ladies, come on.
But this movie isn't necessarily one I would recommend. Like, it's not, I mean, I'm glad I watched it. I think it was interesting and there are some funny bits, but it's just kind of like, all right, it's all right. It's a shrug to my shoulders.
Now, you know what? Okay, so whenever people, like friends of mine will ask me, do you recommend this movie? If I ever watch a movie and I just think it was okay or it was different than I thought it was going to be, I still don't think of it as a waste of time. I'm like, well, I'm glad I saw that. It's in my roster. I learned something from it. I saw a new person in it. Fine. But then there are other people who are like, if they don't absolutely love a movie, they're like, that was such a waste of time. I can't believe you recommended that to me. So some of my friends react that way. So... and I feel you're similar to me in that, well, you know what? I watched it. It's on my list now. I liked this person. I liked this moment. It was worth my time still. So when you recommend films to people, is it like you absolutely have to love it? Or you're like, you know what? It's worth a watch. Like, how do you recommend movies?
That's good. I think it changes, definitely. Like, 10 years ago, it would have been I have to love it to recommend it. But now it's more of if you want to know more about things like this upcoming actress, Sarah Burns, who should be everywhere, but she's not currently. Like, if you want to know more about specific, like, romantic comedies done differently, then sure. But I don't know. I feel like, yeah, it's changed over time. I will recommend things, but give the caveats. Like, I will let them know, well, if you like this type of film, you might like this film. Or just like they do on Netflix, like, if you watch this, so you might like this. Which is funny, because when I pulled up Eagle versus Shark, it was like, you might also like Slow Learners. I was like,
oh, yeah.
Yes, I would. And like I said, it's okay. It's okay. It's not, like, groundbreaking. But there are great performances. That is the strong part of this film.
Okay.
Or
Nice.
all the performances.
Nice. I like it.
So there you go. Slow Learners, guys.
Slow Learners. And it's still on Netflix, right?
Filmed
It's still
over
available.
20-something days.
21 to 25
in
days.
Pennsylvania.
Please add that and take a screenshot. I'll be so proud of you. If you don't add it, I will.
Okay.
I'll have to figure out how to do that. Okay, so my quirky romantic comedy I brought was Lars and the Real Girl.
Yes.
Okay, so hold on, let me open my notes because I don't have any.
I love Lars and the Real Girl.
It's so cute. I thought it was going to be... Okay, Lars and the Real Girl is one of those films where... Well, let me just describe the synopsis, and then you guys can tell me if you think this sounds strange.
Okay.
A delusional young man strikes up an unconventional relationship with a doll he finds on the internet. So it's played by Ryan Gosling, plays Lars. It's also got Emily Mortimer, Paul Schneider, Patricia Clarkson. Came out in 2007, made $11 million. Okay, so this movie, if you had... like changed the coloring, changed the score, and changed the lighting a little bit, it could have been a horror movie. Like, because that sounds really creepy.
Sure.
This, silent, quiet, really shy guy lives in his house alone, avoids family and friends, doesn't really want to interact with anybody, and then ends up ordering a doll online at his own girlfriend, brings her to parties, takes her to work, takes her to the lake, takes her everywhere, and treats her like a doll, like a real person. This could have been like literally like a thriller, like a really creepy thriller, probably starring like Elijah Wood or something. Like,
oh my
I feel
gosh,
like
let's just make that film.
Yeah, let's totally do it. I think they did it called Mannequin or Maniac or something like that.
It's not Mannequin.
It's not
I'll
Mannequin.
tell you
That's
that.
the one with Kim Cattrall. It's
Yes.
Maniac, and he loves mannequins in the movie. Anyway,
Oh my
if
goodness.
you could have done a few little tweaks and you could have switched this, it's one of those very
You could have
fragile.
tweaked Mary Poppins as well.
You could
and
have.
that could have been a
It could have
horror
been
film as
horrifying.
well.
It
Have
could
you
been
seen the
horrifying.
horror film, like, re-edit trailer for
No.
Mary Poppins? Oh, hilarious, guys. Look that up.
I love stuff like that because this story and the characters are so fragile that it could have been misconstrued as this incredibly creepy story, but it's not. It's really heartwarming. It's really sweet. It's genuinely moving, and I really, really love this movie. I can't recommend it enough. This is how you do that, kind of like awkward humor and heartwarming. I keep saying the word heartwarming. Sorry, I can't think of a synonym for it. But this is how you do it. Like, this is a lesson in how to take those stories where the character could go one way and you just are strong and firm and completely keep it in the way you want it to be. So
This was nominated for Best Original Screenplay
was it?
and lost to Juno.
Oh, and those are both. Yeah, both quirky romantic comedies
And independent.
again. And independent. There you go. That was a good. That's
So
a good
nice.
year for indies, for indie rom-coms. Cool. Okay. So to help stay in character, Ryan Gosling, the real doll was treated like an actual person. So as is done by the characters in the movie, she was dressed privately in her own trailer and was only present for scenes she was in. So she wasn't
love
just
it.
laying around. Like, they kept it very, very much realistic to what he would have acted like. The real doll was featured on the Graham Norton
This is a
Effect.
good one. I
So the
like
doll was
this.
given to the show and was stated as costing $6,000. She arrived in the same kind of crate that is shown in the movie. To test how real the doll looked, they sat her in a bar with drink in hand, sunglasses, and a speaker placed on her so they could talk to whoever came up to talk to the doll. One man was told to go into the bathroom, take off his pants, and wait for her. He did. So she is so realistic looking that
I want to know if that's actually
I
true.
don't know. I'm sure there's a YouTube clip of it. If it's the Graham Norton show, it's got to be Well, not the Grandma Show.
I
the
know,
Grandma
but
Effect,
knowing
I
how
think.
things are set up these days, I'd be a little skeptical.
Yeah. But, I mean, watch it and then watch the person acting. I can always tell if someone is an actor or if they're unrealistic. Or if they're like a real person,
Right.
I can always tell. Also, the real doll had 9 different faces, which were used to show a sort of evolution of the character. So the doll starts with a face with heavy makeup, but then later uses a more natural-looking face without makeup. Finally, the doll's face becomes slightly green to reflect her failing health.
Yes.
So my favorite aspect of this movie is that the people in his life, while they are concerned for him and think that he's insane, they go along with it because they know that
she's like on city council, right?
Yeah,
Or
she's on like
something
city
like
council. She reads to kids. They put a little speaker by her, and it's just the audiobook, and they just have her sitting there. So they treat her as a real doll, as a real person, because they know that he needs this, and he hasn't been well. He's using this to deal with bigger issues. So they just go along with it because they love him,
Right.
and they just want him to be happy and healthy and everything. And so they kind of go along with it. And he eventually does, basically go through his stuff and heal himself. And then it's super cute. I love this movie. I think it's so, it's done so well. Like I said, it's just such a fragile story, and they could have gone one way, but they go in the direction it really needed to go. And there was no moment in this movie where I was like, this is dumb, or they wouldn't have reacted that way, or this is awkward and weird. The whole time I was like so into it. I was into everything. I was very moved.
I liked it as well. I feel like if my mom were to watch this, she would be like, "What is going on?
Yeah.
Why is this happening?
Yeah, this is stupid."
But that's the difference between myself and my mother when we watch films. But I think that's an age gap thing as well, because I find this to be funny. In a way, I mean, it's very serious. It's a serious yet dramedy.
It's a dramedy.
Dramedy,
Yeah, it's a
if you
dramedy.
will.
It's funny because it's awkward. It's not funny because they're trying to be funny.
Right.
Everyone plays it very seriously. Ryan Gosling plays it very seriously, and he got so into character. He did a bunch of little improv scenes. So the scene when Lars and Bianca are about to enter the party was entirely improvised by Gosling. So everything he does, he rolls her in, he gets her coat, he gets her drink, all that stuff. And then another was when he performed CPR on the little teddy bear. Isn't that so cute? I thought that was super adorable. So he did that scene because he's just a sweet, nice guy, and he doesn't know how to express himself. He's very quiet. He's very private. He keeps it all in, but there are moments when you see how caring and wonderful he is.
It would be interesting to see what the next chapter of Lars's life is.
He would date Margot. They would end up getting together. But he had to go through all that with Bianca to get over his fear of intimacy, his fear of relationships and commitment, and of being close to other people. He had to go through all that in order to have a healthy relationship with Margot. And she's super adorable. She's so cute. I love that actress.
Who was it?
The redhead that he works with.
I'm like,
The redhead he works with. Yeah,
Wait
the
a
cute little one.
minute.
Or
Oh,
kind
Kelly
of strawberry
Garner.
blonde. Yeah, sorry, I don't know the name of the
Got it.
actress, but
Got
the
it.
one he goes bowling with her and everything. So,
Yep.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good little film.
Good, cute little film. Very, very adorable. I recommend watching it. I think it's still on Netflix. It's been on there for like years.
I'm sure it'll stay on there.
Probably.
I don't see that being something they take off.
That's like
Watch
such
next
an-
week. It's like leaving in March.
Yeah, like,
Lars and the real girl.
no.
Ha ha ha.
I feel like it's been on there for the past like 3 years because I always watch it and then I always go on there and be like, please be on here, please be on. Yes, it's still on here. So I think they probably own it and it's always on there.
I feel like maybe when I first signed up for Netflix, this was one that I
Yeah,
saw,
I
and it
think
was
so.
before streaming, so I'm sure
Yeah.
I had the DVD sent to me,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
There you go.
Okay, so off of Slow Learners, I went with Catherine Reitman films.
Okay.
But I'm not going to be talking about Ghostbusters 2. That won't be in this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
The first movie I'm going to start with came out in 2009, August 21st. This is called Grad. This is starring Alexis Bledel.
Oh, this one.
And her character's name's Raiden? I can't remember. Raiden. Graduates from college and is forced to move back to her childhood home with her eccentric family while she attempts to find a job, the right guy, and just a hint of where her life is headed. This sounds like pretty much everyone's life after college. Like,
This is
gotta move home for a bit,
yeah.
figure out what you need to do or what you want to do or any of that.
Yeah.
Um,
That's why I didn't
Yeah.
want to see it because it was too real for me because
Oh.
I had to go through all of that.
I feel like plenty of people do. I don't think there are that many people that right out of college have a job, at least when I was graduating, because it was a really bad time in the economy. So it was kind of like, well, maybe you'll have a job, maybe you won't. There were very few that did. But I also graduated from the School of Theater, which is totally different. Like, no one was employed, which makes sense. Directed by Vicky Jensen, who also did Shark Tale and Shrek, which we talked about. And written by Kelly Freeman, who wrote this. She has something called Besties in post-production right now. We'll see what happens with that. I'm not quite sure. Alexis Bledel is the main character. Zach Gilford is the like main boy in the movie. He is in the show Friday Night Lights.
Oh.
He's the quarterback, Matt. Anyways, I don't know if you see Friday Night Lights, but he's like he's like the main guy. So in the very beginning of Friday Night Lights, like the main quarterback like has an issue and is out. And so the backup quarterback is in charge now, and that he's the backup quarterback that is now the main quarterback for the rest of the series. Michael Keaton is also in this film. Jane Lynch, Carol Burnett, and Bobby Coleman, Rodrigo Santoro, and Catherine Reitman. Catherine Reitman plays the villain in this.
Does she?
She does. Oh, Craig Robinson and J.K. Simmons.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. Sorry about
yeah,
those.
he played... J.K. Simmons is the dad, right?
No, he is someone else. I think he's the dad of the main guy.
Oh, her love interest.
Zach, yeah.
The only thing I remember from this movie, and I didn't see it, but I just see the trailer a lot for whatever reason it was playing all the time, was that she has a line where he's like, the love interest is like, your feet are cold. And she's like, my feet are always cold. I have the feet of an 80-year-old man. And that's me. My feet and my hands are always freezing.
Mine too. At night?
Oh, God. At night,
That's the
forget
worst.
it. I need to wear like 2 pairs of fuzzy socks and stick my feet on my space heater because I'm like, I'm fucking freezing.
Here is a tip for people. There are these things called corn bags or rice bags. Mm-hmm. Those are the best. Get one of those. You heat it in the microwave for like 2 minutes maybe. Mm-hmm. And then you place it on your feet. It is the best. That's how I warm up. That's the only way I can warm up.
You put your feet in rice?
No, it's in a bag and like
I know, but is it literally rice?
I have a corn one, so it's corn.
Okay,
but it's like treated corn. You know, like specifically for this purpose of heating up, so I can. It's like it's a hot pack.
Okay,
basically, yeah.
I guess
there it is.
You could just warm up a bottle of water. That's what people do for cramps, don't they?
Oh yeah, I have that too. I have
that
time.
Oh,
I have that time. This is a little bit hotter.
Okay.
So there you go.
Now my feet are freezing.
Well, it's cold in my house because we can't turn on the heater.
That's right. And my feet are bare, and I'm sticking them all over your couch. But this is the way I'm sitting because I want to face you. So.
I feel like this movie was trying to piggyback off of Gilmore Girls, like fame, obviously by having Alexis Bledel in it. The budget was $15 million, and it only made $6.5 million at the box office. So it was a pretty big bomb.
Yeah. What's Alexis Bledel doing nowadays? Now I know Gilmore Girls is coming back. That news just broke.
She was also on Mad Men.
She was on Mad Men? What'd she play?
I want to say she was the crazy lady. I swear she's married to one of the guys on Mad Men. I'm not joking.
In the character was, or she in real life?
In real life.
Like
they had some scenes in Mad Men together, and
I think she is. I think I've seen her with her husband, and it's a guy I recognize, so that must be the guy from Mad Men.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's totally him. Yeah.
Amanda Bynes was originally to be the lead in this, and
this was pre-crazy Amanda.
Carol Burnett also played Jane Lynch's mom on Glee.
Oh,
so
there you go.
Everyone's in this house, like grandma, mom, dad,
several
brother.
generations. Okay, 1, 2, 3 generations.
The thing about this movie that sucks is that it kind of has a similar message to Grease. It's like, give up your dreams, give up your morals, give up your dreams for a guy. And that's kind of this. Like, she kind of gets a opportunity to do her dream job or to work at her dream place. She has to start at the bottom because that's what you do. You don't automatically come out of college and get a VP job. Like, that just doesn't work.
You don't have your own office.
Right. You have to start at the bottom. And I think she was like, well, I might as well just go back and be with that guy. It's kind of like, really? You're going to give that up? Like, you're going to give up the chance to, like, start at the, to get started at least. I don't know.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna like that movie then. I just remember the foot line. That's it. And I related so much to it. But the movie, like, it was too real for me. I was like, I can't see that. That's the I understand exactly what she's going through. It's what I'm going through. I don't want to watch that.
I think it was too real for too many people, which is why it probably didn't do so well.
Probably because no one wants to see their own life on screen, but then everything works out for the character because nothing works out for us in real life. So
right. Like, what happens next? What's the next chapter? Just like Lars, what's the next chapter?
The man is probably going to grow bored and resent her for now feeling responsible for taking care of her because she gave up her dream. They're going to break up. She's going to gain 40 pounds and start her own podcast about movies. No, just kidding.
What?
I don't know. That just popped into my head.
Don't talk about me.
No. All right. Not you. That was not you.
So that's it. That is it. Actually, Catherine does a really good job. Her part isn't that big, but she is kind of the villainous, like, I've got it all together, and what are you doing? Oh, you don't have it together. That's unfortunate. You know, like that kind of thing. But
well, sounds villainous. I like it, Catherine.
Would I recommend it? Is the question. I actually wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, don't.
Even on the terms of, well, I've seen it. Nope, I probably wouldn't recommend it.
Okay.
Unless you like Catherine Reitman.
Okay.
But, you know.
But I'm glad we talked about it.
We could probably see her parts.
Your warm corn foot.
Yes. We could probably see her parts on this film on YouTube somewhere. And
probably.
You'd have just enough.
That's all I need.
Michael Keaton actually does a pretty good job in this.
Oh, he plays her dad, doesn't he?
Okay.
Does. There we go. Now I'm kind of remembering trailers. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So there it is.
There you go. Okay.
Should I do my next one?
Yes.
Let me do it. Okay. All right. So I went off one that I do like and I will recommend. This is one that Catherine Reitman is also featured in. Doesn't really have a large role. Excuse me for a second. She is an extra in a third grade classroom in a film directed by her father, Ivan Reitman. Her brother is also in this film. And he has a scene where there's like a fire drill happening and they don't think it's a real fire drill. So him and his girlfriend are in some like other room making out.
Oh.
And then this character busts in and is like, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "We thought it's a fire drill. We thought it was just a drill." "No, there's a fire. Get out." Or whatever. I don't know what they say. Do you know what movie of which I'm speaking?
No idea.
Okay, it is Kindergarten Cop.
Oh. Wait. Catherine
1990.
Reitman's in it?
Yeah, she's just like a extra.
Oh, okay.
She is.
But she is
a third
child?
grader.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So he has like the
teacher.
No, he has like the girlfriend that's like the teacher of the third grade classroom, or it's second grade or something.
Oh, yeah.
And she's one of the students. So when there is that problem, like the fire drill problem, he goes to that classroom and like opens the door, or someone opens the door and is like, "Get out of the classroom," and she's one of the students in there.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right, came out in 1990. A tough cop is given the most difficult assignment ever to masquerade as a kindergarten teacher in order to find a drug dealer. That is a crazy premise, first of all.
It is.
Written or directed by Ivan Reitman, written by Murray Salem, and a slew of other writers as well. Arnold Schwarzenegger's in this, Penelope Ann Miller, Pamela Reed, Linda Hunt. I'm not going to make it through this. Richard Tyson and Carol Baker. Budget was $15 million, and it made $202 million at the box office. Which, did you see this? Have you seen this movie?
Oh, I have seen Kindergarten Cop many times.
All right.
I don't remember the scene you're talking about, though, which is why I was confused.
Oh, with the fire drill?
Yeah, I don't remember that. So was it the children making out? Like the third graders?
No, they're like fifth graders, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Third grade is a little young. That's like 8 years old.
Third grade is a little young.
But fifth graders, that's like 10 years old. That's still young.
It is. But you could see that happening.
I guess
that could be happening.
I guess so.
Arnold Schwarzenegger had a few conditions before accepting the role of John Kimball. He wanted Ivan Reitman to direct, and he wanted a physical fitness theme. And he wanted there to be broken homes portrayed in the film. So like child abuse was written into the script. He wanted it to get pretty real.
It did.
Bill Murray and Patrick Swayze were originally offered the role of John Kimball.
Whoa.
So that's kind of going in some interesting directions. Like Bill Murray is funny.
Yeah, but I can't picture
see
Bill
him being
Murray
a
as
cop.
a cop. Yeah.
That's just
And Patrick Swayze, I
could be
can't
a
really
cop.
picture. I could totally picture him as that part of it, but Schwarzenegger brings his comedy gold to it, and it's comedy because he is Schwarzenegger, so it's, you know, him with little children. That's funny. I don't know if it would have been as funny with Swayze.
Right.
Because Swayze is
A little more serious.
Very
Not that he
serious, yeah.
couldn't do it.
Mhm.
I'm always surprised, like, when I see an actor in a role that I'm like, no, they
Yeah.
can't do that. And
Yeah.
then they actually pull it off, and you're like, wow, that was really good.
Oh.
I guess they could do that. Kind of like maybe Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool. Not that he can't pull that off.
See,
I just
think
don't really
Ryan
care.
Reynolds is perfect as Deadpool, so I don't know what your trepidation is with this movie, but
You know what? I'm sure by the time this comes out, I'll have seen it and been like, that was so great.
oh my god, I love this Marvel movie.
Only Schwarzenegger movie to date to contain a German word. All right. I don't know why that trivia is in there, but kindergarten is obviously the German word in the title, which obviously translates to children's garden.
Yes. Or I thought it was Garden of Children.
I did like this fact. Okay, this one I thought was kind of hilarious. Handcuffing a witness to a corpse is against departmental regulations for every police force in the United States and socially considered poor manners at best.
Oh.
I thought, who wrote that? I like that. I should find out
Who
whatever
knew that
trivia.
and was like,
What other trivia? Elijah Wood has told Empire Magazine that Kindergarten Cop was the worst audition he ever had. Or that he had ever done.
That's right. He's one of the little kindergartners, right?
Is he in this? Because I feel
I
like
think he's the one that says, no, he's not the one that says boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
is he the is he in this? I swear he's not.
He's one of
Okay.
the kindergarten. Wait, Google. Okay, faked facts. I think he is one of Schwarzenegger's students.
Okay.
Like
Maybe he's the abused kid.
No, I don't think so. I think he's one of the funny ones that says a funny line.
Okay.
I like that they have a pet ferret.
It's not a tumor.
It's
Is
not
that
a
what he
tumor.
says?
Oh, that is him. That's
Maybe
totally
it's a
him.
tumor.
I think it's a tumor. It's not a tumor. I think it's a tumor. It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor at all. There we go.
Oh, we cracked the case. Maybe.
I
Maybe,
think it's
guys.
him. Yeah, I think it's a tumor. It's totally Elijah Wood. Hashtag fake facts. I remember watching this movie and thinking, like, I thought it was so funny. And it was like, oh my God, this is this brilliant comedy that's Schwarzenegger with tiny children. That's so funny. You rewatch this movie, it is dark.
Yes.
It starts
it's
out
scary.
with like, and this is supposed to be like a comedy, like not a children's film, but it was still like considered like a hysterical premise with like Schwarzenegger with kindergartners. That's so funny. Like the first scene is like someone falls from a roof.
Die
onto
Hard
car.
in a kindergarten
it's like
class.
Straight up Die Hard. It's Die Hard in a kindergarten room. That's exactly what it is. There's it's dark. They've got some really dark themes.
I felt so sad for the little boy who he's protecting, and he leaves the house and he's going up this like, I don't know,
The water
electrical
tower
tower
thing
or
or
something.
whatever.
Yeah, and he's like putting the things up there, and he's like, it's gonna protect us. And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah, it's like the
how
satellite
cute.
thing. I
Like,
totally-
how sad.
Yeah, it's really sad. And then I remember, is Dominic the dad?
Dominic is the name of the boy. Could be
Dominic is the
Dominic
boy.
Jr.
Oh, yeah. Because Dominic is dad. I remember being really scared of him because
Yes,
he has a
that
ponytail.
dream. Oh yeah, ponytails
got
are scary.
that-
It's like Seagal.
Yeah, he has. Oh my gosh, he's totally a Seagal in this movie. He looks really freaky. He's very intimidating, and he has that very quiet voice. He is very, loving, and I just want to love you so much, and he's gonna explode because you don't do exactly what he wants you to do. And he has, in my opinion, this is my theory, an incestuous relationship with his mother.
Oh,
they're way too
they are
close. She like
crazy.
touches him. She's like in love with him. And wants him to, like, she's totally wants to be the woman in his life. And that's why he's a mama's boy.
There was an alternate ending of this film where the mom killed Arnold Schwarzenegger's character.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, thank goodness they did not use that one.
Yeah, that would have been way too violent. That's
Yes.
way too, you need the happy ending with the teachers kissing at the end and all the kids cheering and be like, ew, and the music. You need all that. That's what makes the film.
It does.
I can't believe they had that. So they shot it, or it was just an ending they were thinking of?
I don't know if it says a possible alternate ending.
Oh.
Would have seen this. But
Okay.
so I'm assuming maybe they didn't shoot that. Also ferrets, guys. Ferrets.
Ferrets. Oh my gosh.
Oregon, totally cool. You can have a ferret. California, no ferrets. I don't know where else you can have ferrets.
Why can't you have a ferret? Because
Let us
ferrets
know.
eat babies?
What?
Wait, have you not heard of this? No, ferrets
I'm
are
sorry.
really bad pets for families to have because ferrets will go into a baby's crib and eat their face. That's happened. That there's been several cases.
I'm gonna have to
of
look
that.
this up.
You need
That's
to Google
frightening.
that. Be like, ferret eats baby's face. And there's been several cases where the parents wake up, go inside, and the ferret had like bitten off the baby's nose or something, and the baby died. I swear that's a real thing that happened. It's
I'm
really
horrified.
Scary. Ferrets are scary.
No ferrets, guys. No ferrets.
A ferret is just a rat that's been lengthened in the stomach area.
Like
It's
a
just
squirrel
like
rat.
stretched out. A squirrel rat that's been stretched like a snake. Who invented ferrets? That's so dumb. Ugh.
God.
God.
All right. Anyways.
There we go. That's Kindergarten Cop.
There
Wait,
it
do you have
is.
any more trivia or no? Sorry.
That's it.
That's it?
I mean, yep. Yep. That's it.
All right. So you got your two
That was
Catherine
great.
Reitman movies.
I did.
Okay. So from Lars and the Real Girl, I picked two Paul Schneider films.
Oh,
so Paul
okay.
Schneider, of course, plays Lars's brother in the film. Now, I knew him more so from Parks and Rec. He played in the first few seasons. He played, oh my God, what's his character's name? Shoot. Oh, Mark Brandanowitz, the one that Leslie had slept with, and he was the
Okay.
architect in the little thing in their department. And so I knew him from that, and he's a great, he's a comedic actor. I know he did a movie with Olivia Munn a while back. I'm not sure if he's done a ton of work, but he has done two great, very, very well-made independent movies. One is Bright Star. If you haven't heard of Bright Star, Jane Campion, who directed The Piano, one of my
Yes.
favorite movies of all time. She is an incredible director. She directed Bright Star, which is about John Keats, the poet, and his affair or relationship that he had with Fanny Braun, however you pronounce her name. Sorry. And, he has that famous poem called Bright Star. And the movie is about their life. Basically, he was a neighbor of her family's. And they lived next door to each other, I think, for 3 years. But he didn't have any money. He didn't have a job. He was just a poet who barely made any money because he was like, he had like one book out, I think. He wasn't a success until he died of, I think it was syphilis, like a few years later. But he died very young. But he had this, relationship with her, and they loved each other, but they couldn't get married because he didn't have anything. He couldn't provide a home for her. He couldn't provide an income, anything like that. So her mom was like, he can't afford to like you. He can't afford to fall in love with you. And because he knows that it can't lead anywhere. He can't provide for you right now. And he had his best friend was another poet who Paul Schneider plays.
Okay.
And he has is he British, Irish, Scottish? He has some kind of UK accent. And he does a great job. And he's kind of the villain of this movie because him and Fanny Brown, whatever it is, hate each other at first. She thinks he's a total dick, but then she likes his friend John Keats, and so they have this little kind of triangle going back and forth. And Paul Schneider is great in the film. He's really good. If you haven't seen it, it's just gorgeous. It's Abby Cornish plays Fanny
like her.
Brown. Ben Whishaw, he plays Q in the new James Bond films.
Okay.
That plays the quartermaster. Where's my other little guy? Thomas Brody Sangster, the little kid from Love Actually. And,
Aw.
now Game of Thrones
like
and all that.
him.
Plays her brother.
Wait, what is he in Game of Thrones?
He plays Jojen Reed. The one that him and Braun can both warg or see, and he has visions and all that stuff. It came out in 2009, made $14 million. I found it on Netflix one day, or maybe I can't remember where I saw it or like what, streaming service I found it on, but I remember saying, okay, I love The Piano. What else has this director done? And then I saw Bright Star, and it's gorgeous. It's beautifully acted. Abby Cornish has this scene where she hears that John Keats, the love of her life for the past 3 years that she knows she can't be with, has died, and she absolutely breaks down, and it's like the most moving scene I've ever seen Abby Cornish do. I think she's a great actress. She really is. And I'm tainted because I know that she had an affair with Ryan
gossip.
Felipe.
Yes.
Yes, her gossip.
Stop loss.
I know. Yeah, stop loss. That's right. Because they had an affair. That's right. Reese Witherspoon.
I love how I
broke
know
up their
these
marriage.
things.
Yes, you know these things. But this film is great. She's great in it, and they have genuine chemistry, and it's beautifully shot. It's a lovely, lovely film. And it's a true story. It's a true story of this romance where back in the day you had to have some kind of income. Like you had to provide. And it was
My
really,
parents
really
would have never gotten married had that been the case.
Yeah.
So
there you go. So yeah, it was absolutely gorgeous. And I was very moved by it. And Jane Campion was a member of the jury at the 2007 Venice Film Festival and was especially impressed with the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, which also included Paul Schneider.
Oh.
And so she saw him in that.
So is this your other film?
Yes, that's my other film. So she saw him in that and then immediately cast him in Bright Star. So my other film is The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. That's the very long official title of it. People wanted to change it. They were like, that's too, just call it Jesse James or whatever. And Brad Pitt was like, no, that's the full title of the movie. Do it.
Brad Pitt's like, this is my film.
This is my artsy
Plan
film.
B.
Okay. This
My
is
production
thing.
company.
Yeah. Jennifer Aniston, step aside. This is my movie. I don't know if they were together at this point. But anyway, this one came out in 2007, made $15 million. Robert Ford, who idolized, and this is the true story of Robert Ford, who idolized Jesse James since childhood, tries hard to join the reforming gang of the Missouri outlaw, but gradually becomes resentful of the bandit leader. So, the way Jesse James died, they think, or they know, they kind of think, there's like tall tales and there's actual tales, is that Robert Ford was a member of his gang who had loved him, and like heard tales about him since boyhood. He was like his idol, basically. He's like a superhero to him. Mm-hmm. Finally actually met him, joined the gang, and eventually over time, like loved him so much that he would always compare himself to him and like be down on himself because he wasn't as good as him. And eventually he came to resent him and killed him. He shot him. And this movie is a true story about how all that happened and the relationship they had and everything. So if you are expecting like a Western or like a gunslinging thing, don't. This movie is very, very, I think it's 3.5 hours long. It's extremely slow, but I mean, so meticulous in its detail and the performances. Like this is a movie for like the industry, for like movie people. It's not for the general audience. This is like, for someone who's like, oh my gosh, look how they did that small cut right there. Did you see? Oh, that's perfect. Like this is for like industry people. It is not for, a normal movie going audience. It's very, very slow. I almost fell asleep a few times. I'm not really selling this well, but it's just so like, it's such a passion project for Brad Pitt. And actually Jesse James's descendants, who are very much familiar with his life and have, articles of his that, no one's ever seen, they've never like sold it to a museum or whatever, have said that of all the stories, books, movies, TV shows, whatever created about Jesse James and his legend, this is the most realistic and the most accurate of everything. So wow. I think this might have actually been... That is a compliment. I know, right? I think this might have actually been what really happened. And okay, this is a small piece of trivia that it doesn't really have anything to do with the movie, but back in the day, whenever they had those little, they had like famous images of the world, right? They got like the pyramids, Niagara Falls, and they had those little things. It was like the goggles kind of, and you would click the switch and all these like photos would like keep going. Yep. Like a little circle thing. I don't know the name of it.
Viewfinder? No.
Periscope, not Periscope. But it sounds like that. One of those images, one of the most famous and purchased images in the world was Jesse James's dead body. So they had, because back in the day they used to, I know it's weird, right? Back in the day they used to take a dead body and like kind of prep it up and take a photo of it, like sitting up in the coffin, kind of. They used to do that all the time. They take photos of dead people, like famous people. And so along with the pyramids, Niagara Falls, the Eiffel Tower, and Jesse James's body, that's what people bought all the time. And he was on postcards. He was in those little, not kaleidoscope, but it's some other thing that sounds like that. He was one of the most viewed and famous photographs in the world, was his dead body. And I think it's because Robert Ford killed him and then like sold his body to someone or like turned it into the authorities, and then everyone was around the photo with him in it, something like that. So Google that.
We're all gonna pose.
Yeah, everyone like posed with the body, and it was literally like one of the most famous images in the world. So Google that, because I thought it was super, super interesting. Zooey Deschanel has a little cameo. She's one of the saloon girls in there. So little young Zooey Deschanel. So there you go. If you haven't seen it, it's like I said, it's not everyone's cup of tea. It's really long. It's really boring, but it's a masterpiece in cinema, and the performances are great. And this is actually Brad Pitt's favorite personal film he's ever acted in.
Of course it is.
Is Assassin, because it's his baby.
It is.
You can see him all over the movie. You know, and
It's
he's a
not
great
Thelma
producer.
and Louise?
It's
What do
not
you
Thelma and
mean?
Louise. It ain't Thelma and Louise. And okay, it has a bunch of people in it. It's got Brad Pitt, Casey Affleck, Jeremy Renner, Paul Schneider, Sam Rockwell, a bunch of people. It's got, I mean, every, great actor in Hollywood who does comedic and serious roles.
It's the hodgepodge.
It's the hodgepodge of them. And it's a brilliant, boring film. So there you go.
A brilliant, boring film.
Yes.
That should be on the little DVD cover art.
The
A
quote by
brilliant,
Stacey
boring film. Stacey Howard.
Yes.
6 Degrees of Feature Film.
Exactly. We're going to be quoted someday. Someday when we have our own show on Nerdist, they're going to quote us. And all my dumb quotes. Does Joaquin Phoenix fingerbang his sister in Gladiator is going to be on
the DVD
the DVD
cover.
re-release. Yeah.
Let's spark a discussion. Well,
That's it.
that's it, guys.
We talked about more movies. Yay.
We did.
This was honestly one of my favorite episodes because
Okay,
I
good.
love my quirky rom-coms.
You do.
My quirky indies.
You don't
know
like
I love strange
regular
films.
rom-coms.
I do not like regular rom-coms
like
where
the
everything
quirky
works
ones.
out and everyone's in love and happy. I hate that.
Mhm.
I don't like happy endings.
We do have some movie link tweets. I tweeted out, what's your favorite independent romantic comedy? I did get a tweet back that said, does it have to be just independent romantic comedies? I was like, yes, because I'm doing a show. Hello. I like
on,
Love
people.
Actually. I'm like, that's great. Thank you.
That made like $200 billion at the box office, and
I was
everyone
like-
quotes it. So
Could you just come up with something a little bit different?
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, Travis Fazekas, Sean Smith, and Scott Mance all said 500 Days of Summer. And we know how I feel about that film. Brad Rive says Risk Cutters, a love story. Evil Twin Ghost, Safety Not Guaranteed. Rachel Cushing, hey Rachel, says Adventureland. Mika Valou says Obvious Child. Miri Jetikin, the Before series by Richard Linklater. Kurt Milner says In Search of a Midnight Kiss. Tyler Myers, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
nice choice.
Abe, I mean, if you consider it a comedy, which you could. Abe Lopez, Dan in Real Life. Chris Zimmerman says My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Nice.
And George McCann says, if The Martian is considered a comedy, then Blue Valentine is a comedy.
Good choice. Blue Valentine is one of my favorite movies of all time. So there you go. All right. And now, of course, we're going to link it back to Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon was in Black Mass with Joel Edgerton, who was in Separation City with Lauren Taylor, who was in Eagle vs. Shark.
What?
Lauren Taylor plays the girl in Eagle vs. Shark.
That's
and
right.
her mole is real, but Jemaine Clement's role is
Is
not
not.
real. There you go. Trivia.
And now we have our
We got a
Rocky scene.
We
I
got
do have a scene.
Okay. Let me actually physically see this because
I thought I'd be Lily.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. So we're doing a scene from Eagle versus Shark.
Yep.
Are you ready?
This scene is
Are you ready?
hilarious too. I'm gonna laugh throughout this whole thing.
I don't think I can. Well, let me try to do an
Now
accent.
we got it. I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna do Rocky's deep bumbling voice, but I'm gonna also try and do it in an
accent? Okay.
in an accent.
In a
New Zealand accent. So you have to do New Zealand accent too. You need to try it. Come on.
How'd you find where I live?
I got my flatmates to ring your work. Tell them it was an emergency. You probably shouldn't go in there. They think you're dead. That was bad.
that was
shit.
more New Zealand.
That was
less
more New
Rocky.
Zealand, less Rocky. But Rocky, if he lived in New Zealand, would have a really thick accent because he probably wouldn't have left
Sure. Okay.
the country.
We'll go with it.
There you go. Or left
All right.
the island.
Thanks.
New Zealand's an island, right? Okay.
Where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at SOHoward2012.
And you can find me on Twitter at Miss Movies. Or you can find me at city council meetings trying to fight things that are going on in my city. Because people suck.
Yep.
So there it is.
There you go. Good message. All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
loves. That was more Australian than it
That
was
was
New
good.
Zealand.
No, well, they're very close. You know what? There was
close,
a
but-
New Zealand gal that used to do an exercise class that I was in. And she would say, I want you to get around on your beach. Beach. Like, what
What's
did
a
she say?
beach?
Wait, no. It would sound like beach. I want you to get around on your beach. And I was like, what the heck are we talking about?
What was
Finally, I
beach?
figured it out. She wanted us to lie down on our bench.
Oh,
for, like-
beach.
Yes.
Oh, beach. Oh, I get it. I get it.
took
Okay.
me a while. I was
You
like,
just you lost the N in there. The beach.
I had no.
Get on your beach. Come on, boys. You can't do that. You got to be careful. Oh, I got it now.
You gotta do. You gotta
I got a good one. You know.
Yeah.
But
It's good.
Australia's more like, you know. There you go. That's a difference.
You know what? I need a dialect coach because
I can do it.
I
'cause
honestly
I've
can't
just
tell very much the difference between the two accents. But
It's
if they are next to each other, yes. But when I hear them independently, no.
Australians are a little more like vertically
I love it.
wide.
Okay.
Like they do longer, like you know, love. Like you do, and they do not really a crime, you know. And so they do longer, but New Zealand are a little
Do
wider.
they say all the time?
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
only one I know
All
how to
right, I'm
do
sorry.
because they put an
You
R in there.
know.
You know.
I'll try it.
Okay, there you go.
Maybe.
There you go. But then
Mine's not very good.
But then New Zealand's a little wider.
And then I sound like I'm from
'Cause, you know,
My
you
Fair Lady.
Yeah. The rain in Spain.
Stays mainly on the plane.
Move your blooming ass. Good
All right,
job.
well, that was
Oh,
it, guys.
shit. All right,
Thanks.
thanks, guys.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
6 Degrees of Feature Film is produced by Stacey Howard and me. Special thank you to Ken Knapsog for our intro and Matt Brown for our artwork.